Why? For what reason does your counterpart allow themselves to be influenced by others, by people in their environment? What is the reason why they allow themselves to be influenced like this? Perhaps because they broke up with you, don't enter into a relationship with you, avoid contact, or have various reactions that aren't particularly nice. Let's take a look at that now. We tap into the energy of the present. The most present energy of the now is being tapped into. We are in the collective. Person cards are gender neutral, and a collective reading may not apply to everyone. A very warm and loving hello to all of you. You are so wonderful. I thank you from the bottom of my heart for your kindness, for your lovely comments, for what you give me, the appreciative words from you. I thank you so much. That really means a lot to me. You mean a lot to me. And I thank you for your loyalty here on the channel. And now let's take a look at what's going on. Why? Let's see. So we're starting right away with the major arcana. We have the Hierophant, and Hierophant also means your counterpart has a problem with trust. And oh, yes, maybe it was also that perhaps in the past, the issue, maybe he didn't have this freedom because it might also be due to trust issues. And to some extent, your counterpart's confidence is also affected. What exactly, we'll take a closer look at that in a moment. But I already see your counterpart is lonely here, actually lying. Maybe he also withdraws a lot and likes to be alone in solitude. But a main issue, definitely a big topic, is clearly visible here. Trust. So what do we have here? Yes. We have the Ace of Swords. And with the Ace of Swords, we already have this, some things can't really be clarified properly. And he always wants justice somehow, but doubts himself too much. And in general, because we are also in the energy for you, he is still calling for a chance. What keeps blocking him are the opportunities, because he doubts himself. The chances that a clarification can still take place. Here, because it already gives the impression, as I said, he doubts himself. But your counterpart is already quite strongly in motion here. Because the connection, we are in the energy concerning the connection with you. And your counterpart is already at this point that something needs to be clarified. There is still something lingering within him, and he wants to make a decision. But as I said, the doubts are very strong, visible in your counterpart. Then we have the Queen of Cups. And with the Queen of Cups, it is already apparent that your counterpart sees you. You are something special to him, truly something absolutely special. And also this warmth, this empathy, because your counterpart has the issue when it comes to relationships that he has never really gone into healing. And he is still somewhat dependent on his experiences. And you have already shown him something, this warmth, this togetherness, which has thrown him off track a bit. But what exactly threw him off track? As I said, let's take a look. So let's be curious. And have a look. Yes, why the influence of others? I have it very strongly here. The intrusive nature in communication, your counterpart is, however, we can clearly see here, I'll get to that in a moment, yes. In any case, the fact is we have the past. I would like another one there. And there. So, with your counterpart, it is clearly visible. This mistrust, doubt, trust, which we have already seen earlier, is also clearly shown. Your counterpart has a very big problem, this trust. I have attachments with your counterpart regarding the past, which makes him very insecure. He might have been repeatedly told, you must not do that, you cannot do that. So more in the area of you cannot do that, and that's how it is. This dependency on others, it can be a family issue. Because it is shown here, but it doesn't have to be dear ones. You know, we are in the collective, so we definitely have this person with us. I have a past issue here. And there was always insecurity because trust was broken. To see clearly here, because I also have with your counterpart that he was one or the other betrayed, so this infidelity in a relationship. In the relationship level, we also have this injury present, and that he himself is unsure whether he is even good enough. And the fact that he is not good enough was a big part for him. Also shown repeatedly far back in the past by could be parents, could be friends, could be school friends, whatever. Again, to emphasize, we are in the collective, you transform it for yourselves. Please keep doing so. And when it comes to a relationship with a man, with a woman, as I said, you know, person, I am always referring to a man here, but you can adapt it for yourselves. Yes, I have said this several times. Yes, I know. And it is like this in a relationship, love relationship, life partnership, the betrayal. And he always doubted himself because I have jealousy, a main issue, a huge issue, jealousy in your counterpart. And it also gives the impression that it was already like that back then. Maybe he grew up that way and didn't get that attention because your counterpart, I see here, always wanted to do everything right. And the person in his environment, this is significant for your counterpart because in the end, the person can do anything as they lead him. They practically always have the power and they can do anything. And your counterpart would always say, or has always said, yes, that's fine, because he wanted to please the person. And they have, of course, always played this trump card. So one or more depending, but in his environment, because with your counterpart, it's like this. With your loved one, that he or she is net insecure. This self-confidence, I don't necessarily see that in your sweetheart. Shows outwardly. In any case, something different is portrayed. It is clearly visible outwardly, something different like a facade. But inside, it looks very, very different because your counterpart is very, very vulnerable and has a lot of heart, a lot of warmth. And it's always a kind of self-protection, a kind of shield that is built up there because he doesn't have this self-confidence and also this self-confidence to assert himself against this person. Let's call it a person. So definitely there, the public is a big issue. The public, this showing oneself, presenting, he has to do everything right. He must not make any mistakes. It already starts here at work. So there, everything has to fit because I always feel this pressure, this yes, very strongly from the outside. The pressure he is exposed to, because as I said, trust was broken for your counterpart. And whether it's in a relationship, but also this trust in his close environment. And I see very strongly the pain, the disappointment in your counterpart, the pain and this sadness, these misunderstandings, because your counterpart has misunderstandings. He does open his mouth sometimes, but then nods to me again a little bit, again here as well. Because, as I said, for him or her, it's not that he has this massive self-confidence or is completely at peace with himself. And as I said, we are going further back here. That's where it all started, actually. He actually feels smaller, always wants to show himself, present himself. Well, yes, but also He is constantly given pessimism from the outside, and he is quite susceptible to all of it. But that is always the protection. He must not make any mistakes. He has to do everything as perhaps the father said, the mother said, the uncle, the aunt, depending on who. And all of this, he always has to show himself, always prove himself. So here we have someone who has to prove how good he is, that he is liked. And there are many injuries to be seen, but your counterpart has the desire. Let's return to that, the desire for you, for what you have given them. And with your counterpart, I also see with your loved one that he or she already wants to resolve the whole thing. And he might like to withdraw sometimes, delay things, postpone decisions. For example, delay them because he is afraid of doing it wrong. He is afraid the past keeps coming back. Your counterpart keeps bringing up the past, the experiences he had. And that confuses your counterpart. It completely unsettles him. And your loved one truly has a pain inside. Always this fear, always on high alert. Something is coming. But if you also noticed in the conversations that there were arguments in your discussions, a knee-jerk reaction, he might have ended the relationship or broken off contact with you. But that's because he was simply insecure. He no longer knew what to say. Fear had a hold on him or her. On the other hand, I see someone very, very soft, very heartfelt, very warm. There is so much there. And my darling really longs for this immensely. For that, to have arrived, to be able to let go, to build complete trust. And that's also what he felt with you. But your heart's treasure is still like that. He felt it, but always this fear. I can already see the change in your counterpart, because that's where your heart's person wants to get out. Your desired partner, the person who is in your heart, who is dear to you, he wants to get out of all this stagnation, this rigidity, where nothing is moving forward. He is stuck in one place. And I can already see your counterpart is taking action here. His heart and is taking the path, the happy path. Because his heart is calling very strongly. A heart's person wants to get out of all this, as mentioned. And he will follow happiness because he follows his heart. And his heart has the stronger power, the greater power. Because clearly the fear is visible from the past. But here, it is no longer really being shown. In the past, yes, which always had a hold on him. But now, someone is shedding this fear. Because the decision is made, the decision is clearly made against what once was and for. The warmth, the heart, this arrival. And there is already, so your counterpart will also come out of retreat. So retreat is also shown that your counterpart is coming out, that he will no longer let himself be talked into it. Or let someone else make the decision, because that was always the case. Someone else, I must not make a mistake, that someone else was this intrusive. Also in relationships, it was like that. So in romantic relationships, it was always so intrusive. And I say you do it. And if your loved one didn't react that way, then the people did it in another way because they knew exactly how to get a hold of him. But here, someone is clearly getting out of the whole situation again. Because I have a complete detachment from the old here. And out of the uncertainty, out of all these entanglements, I have movement in it. And that's how it is. With this collective reading, certainly that your counterpart leaves all this behind. And this uncertainty in the family area, in his proximity, that he comes into security there, out of this distrust, all these misunderstandings, and really seizes the chance to get back into communication with you, to find a solution. So let's see what we have here. Still, as a tendency before the further course, the path of your counterpart. We have 6 of the rods, 6 of wands. Is this also this? You can prepare for a pleasant message and look forward to it. Because your beloved, your treasure, wants the union with you. There will still be some setbacks with your beloved, and it will also be the case that he or she accepts being excluded, but hopes not to be excluded by you. And there is truly a yes. This union, as mentioned, is very clearly visible, and someone really wants to let the relationship with you blossom. The difficult time between you, both overcome, but especially the difficult time your beloved is going through will be overcome here. This is the path shown after this collective reading. And as we continue, we have the Ace of Coins. With the Ace of Coins, we have the opportunity again. The valuable opportunity. What did I say here? With happiness. He follows the path of his happiness, follows the call of his heart. He lets his heart speak and listens to his heart. We have that here again. Because a beloved person will seize the valuable opportunity for his happiness and will take this path, will definitely make another attempt, another approach with you. As I said, a few setbacks, a bit of uncertainty. You will definitely also notice he will have them too. But it is shown the beginning of a valuable relationship. And your counterpart also wants to have security in a relationship with you. And he will also find security in love. He will arrive there. And that is also it, following the path of his heart, the call of his heart. And also give you security in love. The stability that the opening of the heart takes place. And you will also feel this love. You will see it. As I said, still a bit of withdrawal, setbacks, also always a bit of these setbacks. Because a bit of uncertainty still arises. But that will be completely resolved. Dear ones, I thank you from the bottom of my heart for watching and wish you a wonderfully beautiful rest of the day. Goodbye.